And here we are, guys, the last game of the night. No matter what, it is 4-4, all tied up. And on the right, the last hope for Team Acer. After having such a big lead, it's come down to this. In the teal, it is DarkHydra playing Terran. And on the left side of the map, playing Protoss. In the purple, Creator.Prime, savior of Team Prime. And I'm not talking about like the Brood War savior that like went bad. I'm talking like
no,
he's saving their team.
Yes.
It is Creator.Prime.
And that made me giggle at the beginning because Creator.Prime did the GG/GLS and like you can choose, and then DarkHydra said sec. Like, oh, hold on,
wait, I need some time.
I'll make that decision, but don't put the pressure on me.
Do I want to have a good game or good luck? I think in this case, DarkHydra would probably choose good luck.
Yes.
Because he's going to maybe need a little bit of luck to beat Creator.Prime. Creator.Prime is probably one of the best Protoss versus Terran players out there. Hands down.
That's right.
We've seen it time and time again. We've even seen it on this map. And this map is really, I think, one of the toughest maps to play Terran versus Protoss on. The reason being is that Protoss players have such varied ways they go about approaching this map. You know, obviously you can play the long style, you can play the long game style. But you can also just as easily play a very aggressive two-base style that we've seen like Squirtle do, you know, like two-base Colossus. Very, very good. He beat a lot of Terrans with it. Other Protoss are stepping in and doing that same type of thing on these types of maps. So DarkHydra's scouting is going to need to be really, really good this game.
That's right. Squirtle beat Marine King and MMA in sequence at IPL4 with that incredibly aggressive 6-gate. Robo, no Forge, just hit with the third Colossus rallied across the map. And it is pretty disgusting. So, all right, there we go. Looks like a supply depot being put down in the front. This is actually important because, you know, a lot of times you'll see players do this in any case to keep their opponent guessing.
Oh, yeah.
We know for a fact there is gas up, though, so not going to be that 1-Rax gasless FE for DarkHydra.
Yep, I definitely agree with the decision, though, by DarkHydra to wall that off no matter what. You need to restrict every bit of information you can. And beyond that, by doing this, DarkHydra is going to force Creator.Prime to probably have to make a Robo Bay early. I'd be surprised if Creator.Prime didn't make a Robo early in this particular situation, just because it's so important to get in and see exactly what your opponent is doing. So DarkHydra is in a good situation in this game so far. Oh, and a factory going down.
You know what else this map is good for? 1-1-1s, if we're going on the flip side of things here.
Very, very true.
So we'll see if DarkHydra wants to do very aggressive 1-1-1, which is based around a second gas coming up. Well, honestly, it would be here in about 5 seconds or so if he's going to go down that route. Otherwise, it gives us a totally different look. He may be looking like Marine Hellion drops, something like that, maybe going for uncloaked Banshees.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with the factory nowadays. You can go on Nada style as well. You can add on that starport and go Marine Tank Banshee, expand, putting down that bunker here, so doing everything he can to make it appear that he's expanding. And it's, you know, it's just good to have the bunker anyway, so it's not too surprising. Creator.Prime, though, that Zealot will get there before the bunker finishes, so DarkHydra is going to need to do a little bit of micro, fast starport on the way. And we'll have to see what happens here. There are plenty of Marines, so DarkHydra should be able to micro against this. He's played that level in StarCraft Master. He shouldn't lose any more Marines than that.
And Creator does get up far enough to see, though, that an expansion is not being constructed at the natural. It's not to say that there's not one inside of the main as far as he knows, but still. Creator is putting down a second gas now, decided to go for a one-gate expand, and we'll see where DarkHydra takes him. I mean, this is really where a lot of the action is. We already see the Hellions being produced one after another. Unfortunately, DarkHydra is a bit supply blocked, waiting another 12 seconds for that to finish up. That's not good for him at all.
Yeah, that's going to hurt a little bit because this was supposed to be a Hellion drop, and it's going to be really slow now, unfortunately, for him. There's a Robo from Creator.Prime. Not too surprising. Might see, you know, even some more gateways unless he decides to expand off of this. But yeah, that Hydra drop is going to be a little bit slower. Now, very important thing to note, Creator.Prime did get that Zealot in there, you know, and see that there was no command center going down. So at least not going down at the natural. So that can, you know, maybe give him a little bit of insight into what his opponent is doing. If that doesn't, the Observer is going to be getting soon will. Oh, not being too careful with that Stalker, though, and barely loses. I almost wonder if Hydra could have actually killed that if he would have stepped one more time forward there.
I think it was just a little bit too far away, but still, I mean, they got very, very close. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So 3 Hellions are out. Good number of Marines there as well. And Creator could actually, unbeknownst to him, waltz into the main if he so desires.
No kidding, he could.
2 more barracks coming up. This is huge one-base play out of Hydra now.
Yeah, it's about as all-in as it gets, really. But will, Creator.Prime catch wind of it? He does see the Hellions coming out this time. For some reason, the Hellions came back and went around the other side. The Stalker did see them, and now Creator.Prime has a chance to get in position here. But look at this. What are the units out right now for Creator.Prime? He has just got 3 Stalkers and 2 Sentries. In the meanwhile, we've got a drop coming into his main very soon.
Yeah.
Oh, the Hellions. Oh, they could do damage to the Sentries if they wanted to. They do get in. Force some force fields. This is pretty big, actually.
Yeah. Okay. So both or 2 of the Hellions are down, but one of the Sentries has fallen as well. Here come the Marines, though. Creator already pulls everything off the line. The Stalker starting to make their way through, and it looks like he's going to try and go after this medevac for now. And I don't.
Man.
Oh my God, that's actually going to get really close. Oh, survives with 20 hit points there. So Hydra really doesn't do any damage at all.
No.
And his opponent is now up by 13 workers, an entire base, and is now producing off of 3 gates in a robotics facility.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think we're seeing a little bit of nervousness from DarkHydra. He could have controlled those Hellions a little bit better. The timing for his drop wasn't quite as crisp as it could have been.
Yeah.
Creator.Prime, though, you gotta give him credit. He really handled that well. He didn't lose his head. He multitasked quite well. He got that medevac low enough that it's going to be very difficult for DarkHydra to even think about dropping until he gets that repaired as well.
And looks like DarkHydra does have control of the Xelnaga Tower for the time being.
Interesting.
But Stalkers were patrolling around hoping to catch that medevac in transit back. Unfortunately, they weren't able to find it, but we can see a Banshee starting to swing its way in around the side. And I think you were saying interesting because we actually have a Stargate coming up.
Yeah, Creator.Prime knows he needs to get a Phoenix out to handle those Banshees. He's already got the Observer, so this is going to not do a whole lot of damage at all. I believe there's another Observer at home. Probably for Creator.Prime, but is this even Cloak Banshees? I didn't see him research it. No, it's not. Okay, so yeah, when that Phoenix comes out, that's going to basically end it right there for DarkHydra. His Phoenixes or his Banshees rather, are really not going to do a whole lot of damage at all. Creator.Prime just one step ahead of his opponent this entire game. Everything DarkHydra tries to do, Creator.Prime, scouts ahead of time. He responds perfectly to it.
Yeah, this
Phoenix is finishing right now.
An incredibly tough position, unfortunately, for DarkHydra. Oh, he does pick off 1 Sentry there, but the Banshees are now going to be cleaned up. And look, this Banshee is like, nope, sorry, don't want any piece of that.
Yep, can't blame him there.
Well, it is going to be a big all-in from DarkHydra here in just a second. Lots of siege tanks, lots of Banshees, but behind us, there we go.
Yep.
Pulling the SCVs off the line as well.
Bit by bit time. DarkHydra going all in. He needs to win with this attack, or his team is knocked down to the lower bracket. Creator.Prime needs to win this fight, or his team is going to be upset and sent down to the lower bracket. It's going to be pretty exciting. There's a lot of Zealots out right now. There's a couple Stalkers hanging around the map. Creator.Prime does have a Phoenix as well to handle that Banshee. There's the scan, and what will DarkHydra choose to do? He's got to just go for it. The scan doesn't even matter.
Absolutely does. So let's see here now. Just 1 tank along with this? That's interesting. It's going to get picked up pretty quickly.
Well, he spent a lot on the Banshees. That's
there we go. There's a second tank. So we'll see if the Phoenixes are able to pick it up. Looks like they draw a couple units out of position that allows the next Warpin to actually finish. Oh, and he picks off 1 of the Banshees right away. He can trade Banshees for Phoenixes at this moment. That's not that big of an issue for him. Unfortunately, though, he is being sieged up. What is Creator going to do in response?
Well, Creator.Prime is actually getting into a position where it's going to be very difficult to break this. 3 bunkers actually finishing now for DarkHydra. Creator.Prime does not have Colossi. He only has 1 Immortal, I believe, out right now. So he needs to be very careful. This has suddenly become much closer than it originally looked here.
All right. Well, we'll see. The Phoenix is making their way out. Looks like they are able to. They do a little bit of damage to a couple of the units. Finally picking up 1 of those siege tanks. Both of the tanks are actually picked up. It allows the Zealots to get into position. 1 of the bunkers goes down right away. The other 2 are just struggling to stay up. The Banshee's taking quite a bit of damage. 1 of them does go down, and the medevac is remaining. But it looks like Creator is able to break out of this. He kills 1 of the tanks. He's going to lose a lot of his units, but he has so much better economy to fall back on.
I think he's got enough. It looks like he's got enough. A little bit of fancy tank micro there trying to save it, trying to do as much damage as he can. And it was so close. In fact, DarkHydra killing a lot of these units. But Creator.Prime, keep in mind, he hasn't lost any workers at all with this. He can still reinforce. And DarkHydra, despite coming very close, is going to be eliminated by Creator.Prime. GG! Prime wins a nail-biter.
No kidding.
Move on to the next round. Wow.
Woo! Well, that came down right to the end.
No kidding. That was